Hello, welcome to my channel today. Um, this is for all you Hemi guys out there or any of the other Speed Demon guys out there. And I was inspired by this video today about the Challenger Charger platform. And from a few videos I was watching over YouTube last night, and I was kind of like taken back by it. What I hear the most on the boards and on YouTube channels is that, what is the best bang for buck mod? I want to make my car faster. I want to go faster. Oh, the Hemis are slow, and or so on and so forth. And I'm here to tell you bullshit. While yes, these cars are heavy, they are behemoths. These cars are not a per se road and track car. Like a Camaro Mustang car. They're never designed to be that way. They are a good GT car. So you're dealing with a lot of weight. So weight equals weight. You got to be able to move it, motivate it, and slow it down with more massive stuff. But I made a list here so I don't go off the topic too much. And what I wanted to share from you, to you guys, the newcomers out there, and most street racer guys, most of the professionals know this already, so that's nothing new to them. I wanted to go over like a list of things that I think that should be done to these cars, and this will apply to the Hellcats, the Scat Packs, any of the Challenger Charger platform. Well, most of the stuff will apply to that. Some of the stuff won't apply to that. The current car that I have now is a 2016 5.7 fully loaded Super Track Pack car, and quickly, the reason why I chose this car is because I want an everyday car with the fuel economy, with the better fuel economy, and the lower operating cost of this car. So basically, for $10,000 less, I'm getting a fully loaded car with almost a Scat Pack suspension on there. The only thing it doesn't have, obviously, is the Brembo brakes and the bigger motor. But everything else is in here. It's a nice car. It's a nice setup that I want to buy for an everyday car. But for the guys who buying these cars used, who don't have the money or on a budget, who want to add to their car after the fact or so, over time or so, then these are some of the things that I think that are a must for these cars. And it could apply to a lot of the other manufacturers also at the same time. But I'm a person of function over form. As you know, I'm an old street racer, and I've been around the block a few times, and I'll back up and give you a little history of myself. I've been doing this stuff for over 20 years. I've been building engines. This is not my profession. This is something that a hobby I do, and I've always been a musclehead, muscle car guy. Not really an import guy. I built some DSM motors. Talon, Eagle Talon, guys will know what I'm talking about. But mainly it's mostly the Chevy product, some Ford stuff, and I fell in love with this Challenger, and then this is my everyday car now. My other toys include another Pro-Charged Trans Am that I run, but that's for another topic. You'll see some of the other videos over there about that car, if it's going to be sold or not, whatever. But for these particular cars, and to maybe help that newbie person coming into coming into these cars and wanting to know what to buy, what not to buy, what are the best bang for the bucks mods you can do for your car and make the car quicker, faster. While the Scat Pack cars are right around the 12.6, 110 mile an hour range with stock setup, maybe you can squeeze out of them. And the RTs are what, 13.6, 13.2 on a good day, somewhere around there. To me, when you're looking at a car if you could be racing at quarter mile times or drag strip times, look at the mile per hour. Mile per hour will give you kind of what the car is making, horsepower-wise, like the real horsepower, and what it's capable of in the quarter mile with the right setup, combo tire setup, and all that kind of stuff. So, for example, the Scat Packs, the 392s are trapping at 111, 109, 10, 11, somewhere around there. If you think about it, with a good 60-foot time, that's probably a 11.8, 11.9, maybe 11.7 car, quarter mile. And that would apply to the RTs, the 5.7s. If you get a good 60-foot time, in theory, let's say 12.8, 12.9, 12.7 maybe car. So you know, give or take. All right. So basically, the Achilles heel of these cars is traction problems. Traction. There's a couple issues. There's a couple contributing factors to that. Number one is tire. These cars come with shitty ass tires. The stock RTs come with a 20 by 8 inch wheel. If you get the RT Plus, you can get a 20 by 9 inch wheel, which is a 245, and then the standard is a Scat-Pack, so the 275, and then the Hellcat's a 275. That's still a stupid ass small tire for a car this weight and this size for a rear tire on there. A minimum should be 285s in the front, 315s in the back, you know, but whatever. First order of upgrade, tires. Now with anything, there's always a action and a reaction when you do modifications. Nothing's for free. So again, I'm a function over form type of guy. I like to see results. My money goes into the parts that make me go fast, not look good and make me feel good. I want to see results. So with these cars is that you want a couple things. You know, any good racer guy or any guy that's going to modify the car, and then you want the performance. Not the look, the performance. You should always start from the back of the car, work your way up to the front. Because I've seen so many guys put so much horsepower in the car, and they can't put it down to the ground, and they're losing to a V6 car, or they're losing to another type of car that they shouldn't be losing to. The main problem with these cars is wheel hop. Tire spin, wheel hop. So the first order of business is to upgrade this rear suspension. They don't have to go crazy. Control arms, better bushings, better subframe bushings. That is the main problem with a lot of the 6-speed guys too. Or, you know, you ever notice on those wet days when you get some traction and the whole car is, even the automatic guys, is wobbling around? Well, that's a combination of control arm flex and moving around, and the design of the suspension, and the subframe. The subframe is moving, is moving around on the unibody, moving around, flexing, moving around. Polyurethane bushings, solid bushings. I prefer everyday use polyurethane bushings, and then there's kits out there. There's other companies that make control arms or for the better bushings and everything to control that. But I haven't tried this kit yet, but that's my next order of business, is the Hop Knot kit. It's a combination of bushings, and they have a special control arm that keeps that arm from moving around, and you'll see some of the videos. Look it up. Hop Knot kit, I guess. Now, after you do all of that, and you put some sticky tires on there, I see so many guys who do the tires and not do anything else, and what are they breaking? Half shafts, or your drive shaft. So, put your money towards the half shafts. Get some upgraded half shafts, or the axles that go attach to the differential. But after you do all of that, upgrade the rear suspension, the best bang for the buck, especially for the 5.7 guys, is gearing. You know, who cares about all the other stuff and everything? Gearing, torque multiplication, that's that in your pants. Get that motor in the operating horsepower range and torque range faster. There's a lot of SRTs sitting in the junkyard right now or being crashed that have good differentials. You can pop out and pop into the 5.7 guys. For the 6.4 guys, you can upgrade. You know, you can buy a different ring and pinion, or go up to a 9-inch rear if you want. If you want to really go drag racing. The next thing that I think is pretty important, and I've done this on all my cars, all my racing cars and everything. You know, or like a stock but a modified car, the drive shaft. I never see anybody talking about the drive shaft as a must do. They always, they talk about getting a drive shaft, but they don't talk about, hey, that's a must-do thing. This car comes with a huge, long, 2-piece drive shaft, 2 pieces. Steel, heavy, weak, prone to breakage, flex, problems with them. There's a lot of companies, a couple of companies that make good aluminum, carbon fiber. I mean, aluminum is my cup of tea. I'm sorry, I'm down here on the pecking order as far as parts. I'm not going to go spend $1,500 for a carbon fiber drive shaft. But then you're getting the most out of your engine and putting it to the rear wheels. That is well worth than anything else. Other mod you can do is utilizing the power that's already in the engine and making sure it gets to the back wheels. Drive shaft does that. You get rid of that mess. Some guys will say, okay, well, drive shafts are, the one-piece drive shafts are bad because they have a lot of NVH or they have vibration problems. Bullshit. A lot of companies have been making them for many years for these cars, for the Camaros, Mustangs, because they all have two-piece drive shafts. There's a whole theory about the two-piece versus one-piece. You can look that up. I'm not going to get into that whole debate right now. I've been there, done that. Aluminum drive shaft. Talk to the right professionals, get the right measurements, get aluminum drive shaft. That will make the world of a difference. The butt meter, you'll put some more horsepower and torque back to the wheels that's already in the engine, locked in and ready. Next order of business. And this, I'm going to laugh, I'm sorry. Exhaust system. No exhaust system is worth $1,500, guys. No $1,500. I'm sure their quality is great. I'm sure they look good. I'm sure they have nice polished mufflers you can't see underneath the car. They're not going to add no horsepower or very little horsepower. It's been known fact. These cars are pretty efficient as it is, and I'm talking about a stock, moderately modified car. I'm not talking about a 1,000 horsepower car. I'm not talking about something that has a big blower on there that you need 3-inch exhaust and everything like that. But hear me out. Just hear me out before you start, dislike or anything like that. These cars are beautiful, and what I mean beautiful-wise is that, and I gotta quicken this up because it's running out of time here. We have 4 mufflers on our cars. 4. 2 resonators in the back, depending if it's automatic or stick. The big or small resonators, and then you got a muffler set in the middle of the car. What's the great alternative to that? Go buy your favorite mufflers. Go put some cutouts on between the muffler and the resonator, and you got 2 exhaust systems in one. Electric cutouts and your own type of mufflers. Or you can put the cutouts, like I think there's like a no weeds setup on there that you can put on there that puts it right in the S-pipe area, and it's a cut and paste type of system on there that opens the exhaust, or a clear open exhaust, like a straight pipe setup. $1,000 for that? Nah. I think that's a lot of money for that. Sorry, for a couple of pipes and their own electronic servo system and everything, where you can go on eBay, buy the cutouts and 2 electric cutouts for probably less than $500, and wire it up yourself, or do the work yourself. If you're capable of doing it, you probably save more money that way. I like using a muffler, then cutouts, then the resonators. The reason for that is that it gets rid of some of the raspiness of the engine. If you use like a bullet style muffler, you need some of that. Depending on the setup, depending on the engine and what it likes, that's just my preference. But you can have best of both worlds. You have your family, you have your kids, you have your girlfriend, wife. You gotta, if you use the car every day and you don't want that deep rumble and to wake up your neighbors at 5 o'clock in the morning, flip the switch. Car is quiet as a mouse in the back, no problems. No need to have the feel-good stuff of whatever company wants to sell you an exhaust system for $1,500, which is fucking ridiculous. All right, back to the more feel-good stuff. Cold air intake. That is a waste of money. They've yet to prove that a cold air intake is going to give you more horsepower on the 5.7 or the Scat Pack cars. I think it's a placebo effect, because maybe it might give you a horsepower or 2, or they dyno the car under these certain circumstances, and they can force the air as far as with fans and everything, or maybe some of the ambient temperature is cooler. Bullshit. I put my bullshit meter up there. Look at the Hellcats. They're running factory style intake systems that are similar to the ones that are on these cars already, making 650 to the wheels, no problem. If you want to do an upgrade, get a Canaan filter on the top lid, the bottom box, use the Hellcat. Get the ram air effect, then you'll have that nice gurgling sound, or the intake sound that you normally get. Throttle bodies, don't waste your money on it unless you're building a big stroker motor and X amount of horsepower and all that kind of stuff. That should be last on the list of stuff to do. And again, I'm not getting into heavily modified cars. It's a whole different ballgame, whole different discussion about things. I'm talking about guys with bolt-on parts, semi-bolt-on stuff that that they want to that you want to spend $500 on to go put a throttle body on there. Doesn't do anything, especially with stock style tune, because the computer's trying to pull everything out that you're trying to put back in, unless you're going to go and retune it every time that you do this. Now, I'll get into tuning later on if I have the time. The next order of business is, should I buy headers? Especially for the 5.7 guys. Hell yeah! Headers are a fundamentals of performance, or street racing, not street, but it's a proven fact. You're not going to get tons of horsepower, but what you're going to get in return is the sound. If you have a nice exhaust system, or if you do the cutouts, I said, you're going to get the sound. That's what most people don't talk about, the sound of headers. But headers, they give you a nice tone, nice sound, nice a different sound. And you guys know what I'm talking about when you have a car with headers and exhaust versus a car with stock exhaust manifold, the log cast iron exhaust manifold with that same exhaust. It doesn't sound the same. It doesn't sound as good. You know, the crackling, the popping, all that kind of stuff. Because if you took the Scat Pack exhaust system and put that on the 5.7 motors, it would sound almost identical, that nice sound that the Scat Packs have, because they have the shorty tubular headers. I would actually start with the long tubes, because a lot of manufacturers do sell the slip-in pipes that go into the stock exhaust system, so there's no cutting and pasting. It's a bolt-in, it's almost like a factory setup. But if you want to save a few bucks, SRT headers, you know, from the 6.4 motors, and their whole downpipe, get the whole exhaust system set up, and you could do everything to your car, and it'll bolt right into the 5.7 guys, and it's a factory fit. There's no issues with it. It will work every time. The O2 sensor is going to be where they need to be. That's a great mod. Maybe 8 to 12 horsepower, but the sound you're getting also at the same time. And plus the foundation, if you add more stuff to the engine, you know, as the next topic, we're going to roll into like a cam. The headers will complement a cam. If you do an intake manifold, the headers will complement the intake manifold. Not many options for intake manifolds for our cars. Maybe the 6.1 for the 5.7 motors. The 6.4s have great intake manifolds. There's really nothing you can do with that. I've yet to see a 6.4 intake on a 5.7 motor. I could be wrong, but I haven't seen a good kit for that, to do that and to get it right with the computer and all that kind of stuff. And also, the next order of business, if you do heads. Heads are a great upgrade if for the 5.7 guys, if you have a cam, you have headers, you want to put some heads on there. But this is stuff when you start getting into the engine and start getting into, this is not just bolt-ons anymore. But definitely headers are a great option on there. Lower thermostats, yes, very good, depending on what climate you live in. Now you can remember, if you can start modifying your engine, try to do it as a package. And what I mean as a package, that if you know you're going to put some headers on the car, you want to put the cam in there, lower thermostat. If you can, try to do it all at once. Because then when you go to tune the car, you got everything there, and you can do it all, you know, have it as a package deal and get it done. Or you're going to spend more money in the long run because you're going to tune it each time you start putting stuff on the car. If you put headers on a car, especially 5.7, and you don't tune the thing, you're not going to get the maximum amount of horsepower and torque that you want out of it. And a lot of guys say, oh, well, put a tune in there, you'll get unicorns out of your ass, basically. You get unicorn horsepower if you start putting a tune on the motor, on a stock one. Bullshit. These cars are pretty damn, they're well tuned. There is some leeway. Don't get me wrong, a few degrees here, all that kind of stuff there. But if you look at some of the programming that these guys put into these cars, and you start doing data logging, they're not really doing much. They're tweaking a few things here and there, and this is a semi-stock motor. I'm not talking about a big cammed motor heads, and like I said, the whole different thing I'm talking about. But the handheld power tuners that you get, don't waste your money until you start getting more parts into the car. Or, you know, as a package deal, headers and all that kind of stuff, then you start doing that. But for a stock car, don't waste your money on a tune, please. Jesus Christ, no. You know, especially with the variables, if you're going to drive the car every day, gas, all that kind of stuff. I'm pretty sure I'm missing stuff here, but I mean, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna get a lot of flack on some of the stuff I'm saying here, but superchargers, turbochargers. Should I supercharge my car? Oh, I want to buy an $8,000 kit from Edelbrock or whatever like that. You know, if you're gonna spend $10,000 on the thing, you should have bought a upper scale car to start with. Unless you had the car for a long time and that's something that you want to do as a project for yourself, and then you work on your own car and you're putting it together and it's the satisfaction of doing that, I could see that. But to pay somebody to put a supercharger in your car, I spent $8,000 on a stock bottom end on both the 6.4 and the 5.7, you're cutting that lifespan at half. These motors weren't designed for that type of hammering. They says, oh, you can run 6 to 8 pounds of boost safely. Yeah, okay. But what comes along with superchargers that the kits don't, that the kit does not give you? Okay. ARP studs, better head gaskets. That's supercharged, turbocharged 101. Most people are not going to take the time out to pop the pistons out to file the rings down to give you a little bit more clearances. So if you do have a problem or if a detonation issue, that you're not going to go and break the ringling and pop the piston and then take out the whole motor. 9 times out of 10, that's what takes out the motor on the stock configurations with the hyper-eutectic pistons. Is not the actual parts breakage. Is the actual, they get greedy with the boost, or they have a problem with the tuning, or they have gas, or a fuel pump takes a dump, leans out the motor, the piston ringlings get hot, they bump together, and you got no place to go inside that cylinder wall, and then that's it. The piston comes apart in pieces. Remember, those hyper-eutectic pistons are not like forged slugs. They just shatter. Once they shatter, they break in pieces, and that connecting rod comes right through them and bangs them and shatters them and just hammers the shit out of them. And that usually ends up going through the side of your block or anything like that. Been there, done that. Yes, a stock motor will take some pounding, but at what cost in the long run? You're going to pay for it now or later, one or the other. So in thoughts, my end of conclusion here, you have a lot of options here, guys. For the 5.7, some stuff for the 6.4, to make these cars a pretty quick car to a pretty fast car with simple modification to the rear suspension for better traction. That's the main keys, better traction. You can take this car and probably knock off a second. Just put good tires and a suspension that'll hook in the back. You'll surprise a lot of people. Gearing, dry shaft, exhaust system, the cutouts I explained to you, the headers, you know, and then, you know, get into the cam stuff and all that other stuff. You know, that's some food for thought, you know. Let me know. What do you think? Okay? All right. Talk to you guys later.